The core weapon of the IRS scam isn't the law, it's the fear of the law. And this whole manipulation works because the criminal puts on this act, this rigid, unforgiving persona of the government, a role the actual IRS would never, ever play. So today, we're doing a full forensic analysis of this scam. We're not just going to look at what they do, we're going to dig into how they do it and deconstruct the architecture of fear they use to completely bypass your rational mind. Let's dive in.
And that right there, that's the central paradox we really need to get our heads around. The entire scam operates on a powerful illusion. See, it doesn't rely on any actual legal authority, because, well, it has none. Instead, all of its power is pulled from your deep-seated, kind of instinctual fear of what that authority represents. The scammer's real talent is in hijacking that fear and basically turning it against you. They build this entire fortress of intimidation that has absolutely no legal foundation. None.
So, here's how we're going to break this down. We're going to move through 6 key sections. First, we'll pull apart the reality of the law versus the weaponized fear of it. Then, we'll dissect the specific anxieties these scammers love to exploit. After that, we'll walk through their step-by-step blueprint, understand the psychological hacks that make it so effective, and then, and this is important, we'll lay out a clear defensive strategy. We'll finish up with a protective mantra to really harden your defenses.
Okay, let's start with the big one, the foundational deception. And this isn't just a simple lie we're talking about. It's a really sophisticated piece of theater, and it's designed to exploit all your preconceived notions about government power.
So, think about it like this. They're creating a character. The real IRS, it's a massive, slow-moving bureaucracy. It runs on paper trails, official letters, and very established procedures. You know, it's methodical, it's not menacing. Scammers know this, so they invent a character. The aggressive, demanding, immediate agent from some scary-sounding criminal investigations unit. This persona is a complete fiction, a caricature of authority designed for one purpose and one purpose only: to create a crisis so intense that you don't have a single second to question if it's even real.
Now, to really understand why this whole theatrical performance is so darn effective, we have to look at the emotional environment where it all takes root. See, scammers don't create fear out of thin air. They just tap into this deep well of anxiety that already exists in a lot of us.
And these right here, these are the specific weak spots they build their entire operation on. First, you've got that general fear of legal trouble, that primal fear of jail time or huge fines that could just ruin your life. Second, the tax code itself is famously, ridiculously complex. We're talking tens of thousands of pages. So even if you're the most diligent person in the world, you might have that little seed of doubt. What if I did make a mistake on my return 3 years ago? Scammers thrive on that uncertainty. Third, the government does have the real power to seize assets and garnish wages, and that fact lends this terrifying though totally false credibility to the scammers' threats. And finally, they're precise. They often target the elderly, who might be less familiar with these kinds of scams and more trusting of authority, and also small business owners who are already dealing with complex financials and living with that constant stress of staying compliant.
This slide right here, this is probably your single most powerful diagnostic tool. The contrast could not be more stark. The real IRS, they reach out through official mail. They give you time to process, to respond. It's a system of appeals and rights. It's fundamentally a civil process. Scammers, on the other hand, always break these rules. Their first contact is an ambush, a high-pressure phone call. They give you no way out, just a binary choice: pay up or get arrested. And the threat is always immediate. Not next week, not tomorrow, but right now. And that just perfectly illustrates the core deception. One is a process, the other is an attack.
All right, now that we understand the environment and the psychology, let's put the scam itself under the microscope. This isn't random. It's a highly refined, two-phase tactical operation. We're going to break it down like we're looking at a case file.
Every single successful IRS scam follows this structure. Phase 1, the pretext, is all about setting the stage. The scammer uses a spoofed phone number so it looks legit. They'll give themselves a powerful sounding title, and then they immediately hit you with a severe threat, like an arrest warrant. This isn't a conversation, it's a psychological ambush. As soon as that fear is locked in, they pivot to phase 2, the extraction. And here, the only goal is to get the money before the victim has a single chance to think. They do this by manufacturing insane urgency and pushing the victim towards payment methods that are fast and, more importantly, irreversible.
And right here, this is the pivot point. This is the moment the entire scam hinges on.
It's when the call transforms from some supposed administrative issue into an immediate, personal, and frankly terrifying criminal threat. They'll say something like, "There's a federal arrest warrant issued in your name, and local authorities will be dispatched to your home within the hour." Every single word is chosen to trigger panic and just vaporize any possibility of rational thought.
And this is the false choice they present you with. It's a brilliant, malicious trap. By framing the whole situation as this immediate choice between a catastrophe, getting arrested, and a solution, paying them, they completely corner you psychologically. They've manufactured a crisis that is so severe that paying a few $1,000s, as painful as that is, suddenly feels like the only rational way to escape. They've taken every other option off the table, or at least they've made it feel that way.
And this is where the scammer, who's been playing the part of the accuser, now cleverly shifts into the role of the savior, right? They've created this overwhelming problem, imminent arrest, and now they are about to offer you the one and only solution. It is a classic manipulation tactic. Create the pain, then turn around and sell the only cure.
And this is the psychological choke point. The solution they offer is always a massive flashing red flag. Why? Because the IRS does not accept payment in iTunes gift cards, or Bitcoin, or any of this stuff. These are the tools of criminals because they are virtually untraceable and totally irreversible. The second you hear someone demanding payment with a gift card, you know for a fact you are in a scam. And that final command, "stay on the line," that is the masterstroke of control. It isolates you. It stops you from talking to family or a friend or even just looking something up online. It keeps you locked inside their manufactured crisis until your money is gone.
So we've seen the what and the how. Now we need to ask why. Why do so many smart, rational people fall for this? Well, the answer lies in the way these scammers expertly exploit the predictable bugs in our own mental hardware.
The first weapon they use is something called authority bias. We are all socially conditioned from childhood to respect and obey authority figures. You know, police officers, doctors, government officials. Scammers don't need real authority. They just need to wear the costume of authority. By simply saying, "I am Agent Johnson from the IRS," they hijack this deep-seated mental shortcut. Your brain, under pressure, doesn't stop to verify their credentials. It just defaults to its programming. This is a person in charge. I need to listen. This isn't a personal failing, by the way. It's a documented psychological principle. The second weapon is cognitive overload. The scammer just bombards you with a flood of information. Fake case numbers, warrant IDs, legal statutes, threats of police action. None of this is meant to be understood. It's meant to overwhelm you. Your brain's prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thought, simply can't process that much stressful information at once. It essentially shuts down, and it hands control over to the amygdala, the brain's primal fear center. You stop thinking, and you start reacting.
So you see how it works, right? Authority bias gets them in the door, and then cognitive overload paralyzes your defenses. It's a 1-2 punch straight to your critical thinking. And that manufactured urgency, the police are on their way, is the fuel for this fire. It makes sure your brain stays in that panicked, reactive state, where just stopping to verify anything feels like a luxury you can't afford. You're no longer solving a problem, you're just trying to survive a threat.
Okay, we have dissected this threat in pretty serious detail. Now let's pivot to the solution. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about having a clear, simple, and effective playbook ready to go the moment you sense danger.
I want you to memorize this pattern. This is your foolproof detection system. An unsolicited call that starts with a threat, a demand for immediate payment to make the threat go away, and a requirement to pay using an untraceable method like gift cards. If you see one of these, you should be suspicious. If you see two, you should be alarmed. If you see all three together, it is not probably a scam, it is with 100% certainty a scam. There are no exceptions to this, ever.
And this is your response. A simple 3-step exit strategy. Step 1, you take back control with a calm, firm statement. You just say, "I require all official correspondence via US mail." That simple sentence invokes real procedure, and it signals you will not be bullied. Step 2, hang up. Don't argue, don't explain yourself, don't say another word. Engaging with a scammer is a battle you cannot win on their terms. Their only power is keeping you emotionally hooked on the line. Deny them that power. Step 3, verify. If there's any tiny bit of lingering doubt, resolve it safely. Don't call the number they gave you. Go to the official IRS.gov website. Or even better, call the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, that's TIGTA, to report the scam attempt.
Okay, let's bring this all together. Understanding the scam is the first step, but really internalizing the defense, that's what creates lasting security. This final section is all about arming yourself with the truth. Let's just systematically dismantle their script with reality, one by one.
When they say an arrest warrant is imminent, you know the protective reality is that the IRS civil process involves multiple letters sent through the mail over months. When they say the police are on their way, you know the reality is that local police are not involved in federal civil tax collection. When they scream, "You must pay now with a gift card," you know the reality is the IRS has official documented payment channels and would never ever demand payment this way. And when they command, "You must stay on the phone," you know this is nothing more than a desperate isolation tactic, and your safest move is always to just hang up.
And this is the final crucial takeaway. Your greatest defense isn't some piece of software or a complex password. It is the ability to just pause, to breathe, and to let your common sense do its job. The whole scam is designed to make you panic. Your defense is to refuse to do so. Remember this: real authority doesn't need to scream or threaten or rush you. Only criminals do. Your common sense is your shield. Never let them convince you to put it down.